And one discussion I got talking about epoxy primer versus weld-through primers versus other ways of doing rosette welding. The way I like to do it is have my pieces, my rusty pieces already trimmed, cut, ready to go, either new pieces, and then I take my handy dandy Roper Whitney punch, knock a hole in just over 1/4 of an inch, clamp my big expensive funny looking panel in place, but now I have the epoxy primer in the background to deal with. One of a number of ways is take a carbide burr, take a pointed one, you can clean that out. If you use a rotor broach, you can go back in there, clean it out with that. Another way is an old high-speed steel carbide flat end mill, cheap and expensive on eBay, and just clear out the paint. All we're trying to do. I have one here I already have set up. I already did some test welds to set my machine. The machine is currently set on 1/4 inch thick per the standard set on the machine. It's not set for 18 gauge because this is a lap weld, and the determination of the buildup of which I don't want to grind, distortion, everything else is time on the trigger. So I go in, clean out my holes, and to be fair, this is rattle can paint, not epoxy primer. This is just how I set it up for practice. So I go in, my machine should be all set, ready to go. Tips stick out not too much, and I'm going to weld these up. There, done. Now, if I use the machine settings at 18 gauge, I'd have a mile high to grind off. I can even turn it up a little bit more, or make a little bit more of a larger hole so that I can get the weld burnt in there good, and the penetration on the backside is damn near perfect. Another reason why I don't use weld-through primer, it has, according to 3M, even according to 3M, no adhesion. I'm sorry, but I need adhesion on everything I can. So, what I have here, you can see the burnt area, even on this, it's no bigger than a kernel of the weld. It's that big. I will gladly give up a little bit of copper infusion around these corners for what they want for weld-through primer, for having good adhesion in between all these pieces. That's the important part. That's all I got today. Thank you very much from Comstock Metal Shaping. Enjoy.